You're listening to Lyfe and Shyt. I'm Daneyel Walker.
And I'm Tommy Walker.
Join us as we talk about our journey overcoming fears, boundaries, marriage, family, lifestyle, business, and whatever other shit you can think of.
We're individuals that came together to create one unit with one mind and one goal.
Hey.
What's up, baby?
What's going on?
Man, look like we just came off vacation. But we didn't.
I know. This one lady walked into the cafe the other day and she had a nice summer dress on. It was hot outside. It's freezing cold inside the cafe. And she came in looking all like a fresh summer day. And I was like, oh, man, like I cannot wait to get off and put on this summer dress. And but I did not. I got off and was just like, I'm tired.
I'm gonna hit the couch.
Yes, but I definitely was feeling the summertime weather.
That's funny because I haven't seen you in a summer dress in a minute. So, damn, I think we might have to put that into play.
I got a question for you.
Hit me.
Have you ever been a fanatic?
Fanatic?
Yes.
Nah, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think I've been a fanatic. Even, I'm trying to be honest. Like, as a kid, I was into video games, but I don't think I was a fanatic. Like, it wasn't a level 5 attachment.
How would you describe, which makes sense to level 5 attachment, how would you describe fan culture?
How you describe it.
Yeah, like what do you think drives people to become passionate about things like books and TV shows, right? And movies, celebrities.
So there's a healthy component of fan culture, then there's an unhealthy component, right? So from the healthy side of, what makes a person become a fan, it's you find some sense of belonging, a sense of purpose. You feel like some relatability, you're part of that person's tribe or that organization's tribe, whatever the case may be. But then the opposite of that is the weird obsessions, when you take things to an extreme and you fuck around and hurt people and you want to protect that. So how or why? I think it just goes back to that belonging and that feel some kind of connection with whatever it is.
Yeah, I agree. It's that emotional like resonance, like that play on my heart that makes me feel for you, or like a fan of a person. Definitely. If I relate to that person, then I become a fan. Like, oh yeah, I like that. I think those are all great things that make you want to be, or even community, right? Like a community, it's like you want to be a part of that community. So it's like now I'm a fan of this because of that, right? I think all of those things that make you kind of like a fan.
Yeah. So when we was talking about this podcast, fan culture, I didn't know which way to go with. I was like, all right, do we go the fanatic way? Because the reason why we talked about this because I read a book about the different levels of attachment.
I read it too.
And when the different levels, one of them was level 5, which was fanatic, where you would do something, crazy in order, or because you're so attached to whatever it is. And one of the references was talking about a sports team and how fans who are level 5 attached to a sports team will go out and punch somebody in the face from the opposite team. Yeah,
and in the book it describes from level 1 to level 5, right? So level 5, of course, is the extreme. Level 1 is just someone who would perhaps buy a jersey, right? Like that's level 1 fan.
No, level 1 is don't even care.
Oh, okay.
Level 2 is like
you don't even have a team. You have no skin in the game.
Yep.
Then I guess level 2 is like you actually have a team, right?
Yep.
And you'll buy a jersey. And then from there, of course, the levels just kind of get bad or worse or more fanatic from then, right?
and I think after reading that, I was like, all right, well, I'm definitely not level 5.
Yeah. And you don't have any personal experience of when you were a fan, like you're not a fan of anything?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm a fan of all New York fans. So, I mean, all New York teams, right?
Okay.
And then even saying that, I'm like, am I really a fan? Because if you ask me who's the starting 5 of the New York Knicks right now, I'm going to tell you I have no idea. Right? Or who's the starting pitcher for the New York Yankees? I'm like, I have no idea.
Well, okay, then I guess that goes on the level of fan that you are,
Yes.
right? Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I'm a fan, but like I'm not gonna have a horrible day if they don't win tomorrow.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it's not gonna
that's a great way to put it.
Not gonna break my day, right?
Exactly. So when it comes to fan culture and that emotional connection, I don't have an emotional connection. Right? But I represent my city, and then I represent where I live too. Like I live in San Diego, and I go see the Padres. I root for the Padres and all that stuff. But don't ask me. I think I know like 3 or 4 of the Padres team members, right?
Yeah, I get that. Like when it comes to sports, I definitely am a fan. And there's like, I don't know the top 5 of the Lakers, but that's my team. You know what I mean? Like when we win, we win. When we lose. You know what I mean? And then it's like, that's my city. So I'm definitely a fan of my city, and like, that, and I'm a fan of the Lakers. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm not like a diehard fan anymore. I guess I was a while. I mean, I do know at least 5 players on the team, right? But that's because they're all pretty well known players too.
About now or before?
Now. Yeah. Now. I definitely know 5. But I don't know if I know the starting 5. I may know the starting 5, but still, it's just, it's not something that like I'm proud of. Like I know, but I am a fan of the Lakers and have been for many years. But I, as far as like, I don't cry, or like I said, it does not break my day if they don't win or the next day. But I do get attached to TV shows, certain series, like Shameless. I fell in love with that series, and when it was over, I was sad.
Why? What was your connection there? What was the emotional connection?
Okay, so when you first start watching it, if you watched it from the beginning, first off, one of the kids is a kid. You know what I mean? Like a little kid, literally, like he's in elementary. And then when the series is over, he's an adult. He's a cop. He's an actual man, So it's just like, I don't know. They got me. You know what I mean? I got that emotional tie, and it's like I watched him grow up. Even though I didn't, right? Because it's fake, but still, it's like it got.
That's funny.
And it made me a fan of not only the show, but of the writers, the producers, right? And it made me want to, like American Horror Story as well. I'm definitely a fan. And then I'm a fan of like Ryan Murphy, who wrote it and produced it, and then of all things that he did after that. So it made me even watch shows that he created. You know what I mean? So
I think you became a Ryan Murphy fan, definitely.
Yeah.
Because you thought, we watched something, you were like, this is the writer from American Horror Story. I was like, okay, that's cool.
It's like, he's a good writer, you know what I mean? Because then that's when I start to see, okay, not only is that the actors can you be a fan of, right? But the writing, it's like, oh, that makes sense to why this was a great movie and that was a great. So it was the writing that's what I'm a fan of. It's not really the character that I was a fan of. It was the writing style, even, So, and you see how I got all kind of geeked out on that. It's like that. That's how I know that I'm a fan of that. In books, Eric Jerome Dickey was one of my favorite authors.
If you didn't say it, I would have brought it up.
was is one of Eric Jerome Dickey is resting in peace. And I actually definitely cried. I'm a part of his fan club. I have a book that was autographed by him.
So now let's talk about that, because I didn't know you was part of his fan club.
Yeah.
Right. So, because I'm not part of any fan club. So what does that mean, being a part of a fan club?
All it means is that whenever he has book signings, or whenever he was in town, then you know about it, and you can go to the different book signings to meet him. Yeah. Right. Whenever a new book is coming out, then you talk about it within that community. Yeah.
So it was like finding your tribe. So
yes.
And so one of the things about was it fandism, or like the whole thing about fan culture. One of the cool things about it is it can strengthen a relationship.
Yeah. Right.
So if you're part of this community now, and everyone there is all fans, or you all are in sync with this author, now and of course there's probably all different kind of people there, right? So it's like people from all over the world or whatever, and you're like, oh shit, I've never would have run into you had we not had this same one thing in common.
Yes.
Right. So
yes.
now you're building strength
yes.
In a relationship based off of this one thing.
Yes.
And that's cool.
Yeah. And that happens a lot in different series and things like that. It's just like, say like the Hungry Games. Hunger Games. The Hunger Games. That was one of those things that people started to talk about, and friendships were bonded, and it was a book first, and you know what I mean. So those are all things that people became true fans, and lots of communities were grown because of that.
Does Prince have a community?
You know, I'm not sure, but I'm definitely a fan.
Yeah.
Definitely a fan, and that leads me to what I was going to say about, like, say, Beyonce's Beehive, right? Like, her fans, they go hard. You know, like, I
don't know too much about the Beehive, but I've heard from what I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not. This is just from like other people just talking about it, but I heard it goes hard in the paint.
Yeah, and first off, I think it's dope when people call their fans something. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's awesome. You know, like, those are the, you know, like the Danny Flies. I don't know what I call them, but Beehive. But the Beehive is like, hold up. Don't repeat it. Don't repeat it.
You would call them what? What would you call them?
The Danny Flies. Look, I had to do that. Yeah, if you can't see me, then you can see my shoulders is flying.
That means if you down with Danny, y'all fly.
Yeah.
I can dig it. I
don't know. I just pulled that one out, y'all. Yeah. But the Beehive is like, they say if you say something about Beyonce on any platform, they're coming for you.
They gonna be
coming. You're gonna take it down. Like that.
That's
like seriously, they said they're aggressive. They're aggressive.
Who are they?
They're her fans, man. They are her people.
I mean, I listen to her, but I'm not knocking at nobody's door.
No. You're not. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm sure that gets crazy for her too, because as a celebrity, I mean, that's your fans are your that's how you get paid. You know what I mean? For people to love you, you know, and worship you and all parts of you. So that's kind of the other side of that. The other side, right? It's when you have to deal with a fanatic person.
Yeah. So and it's crazy because mostly you hear about the fanatic fans mostly with like entertainers, musicians, sports, right? The athletes, because they're always in the public eye, right? So you have the person that's in the public eye, and then you more than likely have their fans in the public eye because your fans are going to see you. Then you got the entrepreneurs who got fans, right? Mm-hmm. And the entrepreneur fans, you know, same way. Like you got the ones that's like, yo, that's my guy, or that's my girl. Don't talk shit about them. Or you got the ones that's, to me, if you're on social media and you just talking shit about that one person, you've never met them before, like, you're a fan. Like, I don't give a shit what you say. Oh, I hate that person. Have you ever met them? No. Have they ever spit on your shoes? No. They've never done anything to you and you hate them?
You just don't like them.
You're a fan.
Yeah, you admire them.
Exactly.
That is so true.
There's something about them, and it's cool, you know, own it. You know, at the end of the day. So one thing, entrepreneurs having fans are some things that you don't really talk about, but entrepreneurs do have fans, right? Mm-hmm. And entrepreneurs don't deal with their fans in the same way that, you know, entertainers and athletes do, but their companies leverage their fans. And to your point, what you said earlier about how when your team wins a championship, the whole city goes up, right? That's the team leveraging the fans because, or the city leveraging, because the city's like, oh shit, we won. Let's throw a parade. Let's have everybody come in town because, you know, we that's how teams get. I mean, that's how cities get money, right? Companies do the same exact thing. They like if you look at like a Nike or something like that, Nike have a great following, and you know, you leverage your fans, and you leverage your fans by doing certain things during certain times, during certain seasons, and it's cool. It's all part of the culture.
Yeah, and
I was just gonna say, my thing is just make sure you're aware of where you are in that, you know, in that culture.
And Nike is good at giving away things too, right? So. To quote Lil Wayne, he says he doesn't brag, his bitches brag for him. It's a Lil Wayne quote. I feel like he's the same. They don't brag. They give things and then other people brag for them. You know what I mean? There's people who have absolutely zero stock in Nike, but will clown you if you wear a Nike sweatsuit and Reebok shoes. Like, who cares? Like,
Yeah.
is Reebok paying you, or you know what I mean? Are they clean? You know what I'm saying? But that Nike person is like, no, you should be wearing Nikes with, you know what I mean? Like that they're going hard for that brand.
It goes back to that last episode we talked about being offended. Like, why you offended?
Yeah.
I'm wearing Nike and Reebok. Don't be offended.
That's so true. Going back to sports, you know, there's been times where we've been in this space or place where, and like the Beehive, right, where there's these fans against fans, and in sports, it's oh my gosh, people go crazy for their sports teams, and we had an opportunity to go into the Eagles Den, right? Is it the Eagles Den? Is that what it's called?
Nest.
The Eagles Nest, and it's this bar in San Diego, and it's all, and there's a Giants at that. Go Giants, G-Men. See, that's my my other team there.
That's your fandom.
Yes, my football fandom. And we went in, we were wearing our jerseys. I mean, this whole entire place was green, okay, because that's their colors. Not only that, but they had a song that they sung, and every person at that bar knew the song. They had this flag that they were waving the whole time. I was like, what is this, and where am I, right?
You got lightweight. You lightweight felt like you was at like a cult,
Yeah.
like gathering or something.
Yeah.
You was like, who the fuck invited us? I was like, that guy did.
They were playing the Giants. We had on our jerseys. We won. And afterwards, they were like, oh, you guys were so humble about. But I'm willing to say if they would have beat us, oh, man, we would have never heard the end of it.
Yeah. We probably had drinks thrown on us or some shit like that.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I respect all cultures. Fan culture is so, like, it's so aggressive.
Yeah.
Why is it got to be like so aggressive? And you go, like, we were tailgating at it was a Giants Chargers game, and here in San Diego, and we lost that game, and the Charger fans were so aggressive, and I could see why Charger and Raider fans always get in fights.
Yeah.
It was like, why the aggression? We're not out there.
It's not us. We're not getting paid for it. We ain't got no skin in the game when it comes to, you know what I mean? All we have is bragging rights. So we get.
You know what we got in common? We're both out here in this parking lot.
Yeah.
And we both are paying $25 to park and barbecue, right? But I don't know. I guess I'm too logical when it comes to that.
That's hilarious.
Sometimes I just get too logical when it comes to the fan culture.
Well, let's talk about it not being logical. Let's talk about fan theories that are like surprisingly accurate.
Oh,
like
shit.
things like was it like the Red Sox that didn't win forever, right?
Yeah, the curse.
Yeah, and they're like, because he got traded back in this day if this happened.
Some witch doctor shit right there. Yeah.
And then it's like, and all of a sudden the curse was broke or whatever, you know what I mean? Like something had to have happened for that curse to break, or like do you know of any other fan theories like that?
I don't know any fan theory, but you know, when I think of all the ones I've heard, and I'd be like, what? Are you serious? Okay. How you even come up with that? But conspiracy theorists, no matter what, like it could be about the government, it could be about a sports team, like no matter what, you know, somebody's gonna have a conspiracy theory out there, and it's pretty fucking dope that it lasts for so long.
It's true.
Like, and that's the cool thing about storytelling, right?
Yes.
When you tell a story and it kind of shows itself true at some point, like who was it? The Chicago Cubs, when they never won a championship, and then they finally won. Or, you know, it's like just small things like that. And they say, well, they never won because of this.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, shit. And then this happened. And then it was the, what was it? It was the Mandela effect. And then all of a sudden.
Lord, not the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Gosh. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, all I'm saying is fan theories, I don't know. They can be true. They cannot be true, but it's a good story.
Oh, that's hilarious. Have you ever experienced a moment of like intense passion?
Where are we going with this? Yes, I have. We still talk about fan culture?
No, yes, we are.
Okay.
It's like this dedication that kind of surprised you. I don't know. I want to say something that there's something I'm thinking of where I want to say Alan Watts was like that to you. From what I remember, it was where it was something that you didn't think was you would be a fan, someone who you didn't think you'd be a fan of, and then you listen to him, and then you're like, oh, I think that was like somewhere where you were surprised that you were dedicated to. You're just like, oh shit, like I actually do like this guy, and I kind of low-key I'm a fan of him as I listen to him at nighttime before I go to sleep. You know what I mean? Is there anything else, do you think, or do you agree with me?
No.
No, you don't think you're not a fan of Alan Watts?
I wouldn't say I'm a fan.
No,
I would just say I listen. Like,
not a fan of him though.
No, I would. I mean,
you've referred him to other people.
Yeah, because I have respect for him. Right, I have respect for what he's saying.
But you're not a fan of him.
But I wouldn't call it a fan. Like if he was still alive and he was in San Diego, I wouldn't go see him. Like I wouldn't pay money to go see him. You know what I mean? I think you're a fan of somebody if you would pay money to go see them. I'm a fan of Erykah Badu, but I wouldn't go pay to see her.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's would I stand out in the parking lot? Yeah, that's a fan. You know, right? It's like I'm there.
Oh, that's funny. Nothing else. Nothing else surprised you?
No, I couldn't think of a surprise. Well, yeah, music. I mean, when it came to different genres of music.
Okay.
Because you used to get on me about that a lot.
Yeah.
Because I was all about hip hop and R&B.
Rap.
Yeah. And then started listening to, other music and I was like, oh shit, this is pretty dope. And then I started listening to EDM and then found out some cool DJs that I like. And I'm like, oh yeah, those dudes. And yeah.
That was surprising. That's true.
Yeah. Then I would go to a party like, yeah, I would fuck with a party like that. But outside of that, no. But that's because that's more exposure. So if you, depending on what you're exposed to, I think that's kind of where your fandom kind of scales or doesn't. You know what I mean? That
makes sense.
So.
But to be surprised though, you know what I mean? That's different. It's like when you're like, oh, I mean, just like when I started watching American Horror Story, I totally wouldn't have thought that was something I would have liked. I just happened to watch it. Yeah.
Because you watch a lot of crazy shit.
Well, I mean, but...
Was that the first crazy shit?
I think that was like one of the...
All of the crazy shit?
I believe so. Hey, that was the start, right? And I was like, wait, there's more crazy shit out there? Let's go, you know? But so I think I was definitely surprised by that.
When you talked about series, because you told me about a series the other day. Was it?
Obsessed?
No.
I'm all obsessed.
Is that a new series? Black Mirror?
Okay, yes.
Is that a new one that you're obsessed with?
Yes.
Or a fan of?
Yes, I am definitely a fan.
You told me about some weird shit, and I was like,
definitely a fan of Black Mirror. Yes, yeah. Yes. And Kanye West said something about this too. And it's so real. It's like Black Mirror is so like one of those things that takes you out of reality a little bit, but like that could really be reality.
So between TV show and I guess like I have some TV shows that I watch, but me I'm like I'm not like I gotta watch it. Like I watch it when it's convenient, or if I'm not doing anything, and I'm like, oh, you know what? Let me kill 30 minutes, or let me kill 45 minutes, and watch this show, and then I'll be all in, and then I don't want you to disturb me. So like my kids might get offended. I'll be like, you're talking.
They will definitely get offended. Definitely.
Or like catch me when I'm not.
Some things that surprised me that I end up kind of shocked, like, oh shit, like I'm actually like a fan now. I watched I think it's like the Untold Story of our artists. It was like when they told the backstories of like artists, and I happened to watch Pink, and it told backstory of her.
You cried.
And I did. I cried. Like her story was like amazing. I did. And then it was like maybe a year later, she was on an award show,
and you cried again.
And I cried like a baby. I was so happy and so proud, and it was. I mean, I knew her journey. I knew where she'd come from, and then like where she is now, and I loved it. They got me, just like the a series, but that was her life. And then to see her perform on stage, and just to know like all the shit that she'd gone through, it just really just did something for me.
So for those that don't know, the reason why Daneyel cries, and she never actually admits it. Of why she's connected and a fan of a lot of these things. Like if you listen to the commonality of all of it, it's because you like the winning story. You like to hear people come from nothing, go through a bunch of shit, and then win, because it's very similar to your story.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things that you don't put out. Like you never really talk about your wins. You don't talk about where you came from. You never talk about where you come from. in description. Like
Right.
you hide that. But then when you see it in other people and then you tell their stories just like it's your own story.
Yeah.
And that's how you take it in, and that's how you like it. That's why it's so close to home to you.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you say that you're a fan of all these people, but in reality, it's the similarity that you see in the relatability, and that's why I'm a fan of you. That's why I'm your biggest fan, is because I know where you came from. I know where your struggles were and how you worked your ass off to get to where you wanted to be, and how you got there, and then your cage got rattled, and then you continue and you continue and you continue, no matter what gets thrown in your way, and you still try to hold your own. And then you try and hold for everybody else, but you never unleash, and you never open yourself up to any of that. Instead, you tell everybody else's story. So that's why I'm here to tell your story. And when it comes to fan culture, I am your fanatic. I am your level 5.
Thank you, baby.
This is Lyfe and Shyt. Do us a favor. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. Leave a review. Let us know what your thoughts are. That's the only way that this show is going to be successful. And we appreciate you. Talk with you next time.